Dom, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Good morning.
Oh, I like no tie, button open, Dom. Ready to go. Ready to take on the world.
Yeah. There
Natalie, good morning. You're on Ask the Dom.
Good morning.
Hi, Natalie.
My husband and I purchased a home in 2018, and it was under the impression that it was under homestead exemption with the previous owners. At the end of the year last year, my husband went to the property tax office to settle up, and the property was not under homestead exemption because they owned a second home that they put under exemption. The property taxes from our mortgage lender and all that were estimated to be around $1,200 a year, and they jumped to $3,300 for 2018. In the closing costs, we asked the previous owners to pay for 75% of the year because they owned it for the 9 months in 2018, and we owned it for the last 3 months. Is there a way that we can go and get the money from the previous owners for the additional taxes that we weren't anticipating?
I understand your issue, but you guys went about it the wrong way. When you purchase a house, the estimated taxes have nothing to do with the prior owner or the current owner and how they claim homestead exemption. It has nothing to do with the new owners whatsoever. Because you could have people that have multiple homes and residences, and you don't know what they're claiming as far as exemption or not. So when you would have done the loan and the anticipated taxes, and usually whenever you look to buy a home, it always has the estimated taxes.
Right.
That comes right from the county, Natalie. So the fact that you guys factored in what the folks ahead of you were doing simply only broke down to the sense that, hey, you guys are only responsible for the remaining 3 months of the year that you guys didn't own the home. That has nothing to do, again, with their homestead exemption. So what you had to have done is look at what is that home taxes listed, valued at by the tax appraiser's office, and they basically take a quarter or a third of that is what your payment would be, because that's how long you've owned the home. It has nothing really to do with the other folks. Now, if you factor that into the negotiations, that's all good and well. Did you have an attorney when you did this transaction, a real estate attorney?
No, we did not.
And now we have another lesson learned. 2 calls in a row. You've got to make sure. Listen, you got to make sure you protect yourself legally. Whether the caller before you going into a contract with a contractor, or whether you buying a home from somebody and wanting to protect your cost and value investment, especially with taxes. So what you need to do right now is you need to talk with the county to see if they can have the tax reassessed, unless, of course, there was a breach in understanding of your agreement that you had with the original sale. And I won't know that until you send me a copy of the sale of the closing, which if you send that to me, I can give you to Joe. Joe Kalish is my real estate guy, and he can help you out. So either way, we can help you fix it, but you can avoid this in the future from coming to a lawyer first.
All right.
Sure. I think the question was like attorney or tax office first.
Why don't you do this?
Always attorney.
Go to the attorney first.
Let them go to the tax office.
Go to my website, askthedom.com. Say, hey, I talked to you this morning on Mike's show. I'll give you Joe Kalish's information. I'll be leaving here shortly. I'll be at the office all day today.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
You're welcome. No problem.
Melanie, you're on Ask the Dom. What do you got, Melanie?
Good morning. I'm curious about a power of attorney my boyfriend's father had over him. He started it maybe over a year ago, and he just forgot to have it taken off. He went to jail for a month over something with a DUI, and then he just never lifted it. His father has recently encouraged him to wash a bunch of his assets, and as soon as he did it, his father exercised the power of attorney and took over his banking. I know it's unethical, but is that illegal? Is there any recourse, or is it going to be just kind of a he said, she said, duking it out?
Well, a power of attorney can always be revoked. So if
How do they do that? Who gets to do that?
Well, whoever issued the power of attorney has the power to revoke the power. So if I told Mike, I said, Mike, I'm going to give you a power of attorney over me. Well, let's do it the other way. Say, Mike's going to say, Dom, you're my attorney. I'm going to give you power of attorney over my assets. And I say,
I go to jail for a year.
Why Mike's in jail for a year in this hypothetical? And I said, okay. And now maybe while Mike was in jail, I don't really like what Dom's doing, and I don't agree with his decisions. I'm going to revoke the power of attorney. And Mike, you have the power to do that.
Okay.
The only way...
Same way I gave it to you, I go to revoke it?
The same way. You just put him on notice that it's being revoked. Now, the only problem that Mike would have is if I challenge Mike's competency. So, no, Mike's not of sound mind, and he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm his lawyer. I'm his second best friend next to Pete. There's no way I'm going on the cruise when he's not. I'm his guy. That's the only way that I can argue that Mike's not of sound mind. But other than that, Mike can revoke it all day long.
So then you can just do that.
Okay.
Just do that. And then what happens is then once the power of attorney is revoked, hey, you don't have command and control over me, then all that money then, in assets is going to have to be, returned back. Then wherever it went, hopefully it's not being disseminated across, where, state lines or what the guy's doing with it.
No, it's all here. It's within Pinellas County.
Yeah, you just revoke it. And if you guys want more specific information on powers of attorneys or trusts, then Andrew Gracie's my probate attorney, and I can certainly give you his information as well. Sponsor to the Ask the Dom show, too.
All right, good luck, Pumpkin. Revoke. Get on it.
That's it. Another satisfied customer right there.
Al, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Al?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, buddy.
About 5 months ago, I put down $6,000 for a semi-truck to become an owner-op. And about 3 weeks into that, I bought the truck. It broke down. I had to put about $10,000 into fuel injectors. And then about a few months later, and now the transmission is out. The truck's not running.
Right.
And now I realize that, I have a 3-year, I thought it was a 3-year loan, to pay off the truck. When I found out, I looked over the papers, it's a 3-year lease. Like, are
you leasing your phone, too? Because you have the worst connection. You have a 3-year lease. Go ahead.
Right, I'm driving a truck.
I got you.
Sorry, man.
It's all right. I got you.
So now I want to know, is there like a lemon law or should I go bankruptcy, arbitration? What should I do to...
Well, Al, let me ask you this. Was it a new truck that you purchased for a lease?
No, it's 2011.
All right, so when you purchased a 2011, did you purchase it as a as-is vehicle?
Well, it probably said as is, but they said that it was 100%, the truck, it was 100%, of course, drivable, but nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong.
Well, there was nothing wrong with it at the time, and then 3 weeks later, something became wrong with it. So that's not a false statement. There's nothing wrong with it today, but I can't guarantee tomorrow. So that's why you buy warranties, and the warranty protects tomorrow. So if you didn't buy a warranty, then that's out. Lemon law, more likely than not, is not going to apply because it's not a new or newer vehicle because it's a 2011, and you bought it from what it sounds like to me as is, which means that if you do that, you want to have someone inspect the vehicle first as a mechanic, get a mechanic to say, hey, this thing's going to be fine for quite a while. You're good to go. Now, if you didn't do that, now that's on you. No, the answer to your question is more likely than not, you do not have a lemon law issue, and you're just going to have to keep paying that lease. But let's not do this again. So for folks listening, if you buy anything used, first of all, you buy anything used, you go to Steve Hurley, all right? Stingray Chevrolet.
Yeah.
All right? That's number one.
I co-sign that.
All right? And number two is if you don't go there for whatever reason, make sure you have a mechanic or someone look at the vehicle that you're going to buy.
Before you get it.
Before you get it. And then even after that, factor in a little extra money to get a warranty just in case something happens down the road. And then that'll avoid this type of call to the show this morning for you in the future or anybody else that's listening to Mike's show this morning. There you go.
All right, Al.
Al, listen, be safe out there, baby. We love you. Keep driving.
I'm sorry your connection stinks, too.
Hard work. A lot of folks in the trucks listen to us.
Sure.
Man. We love those guys and girls to death, man. Certainly appreciate it.
Alex, you're on with Ask the Dom.
It's Medicine Man. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Medicine Man?
Medicine Man.
Medicine Man has court tomorrow, and he's nervous.
I love him. I tell him all the time, can you just clean the stuff up in the front yard and then...
Why don't you do that? Why don't you clean this stuff up?
About, what happened just recently is this different one come to my house, complain about a few items I had in the front yard. And
he just said that. What do you have in the front yard?
What's there still?
It's There were just a few storage containers, and I kept it neat, everything organized. But this guy was picky. Then he came back and forth just because I left some stuff laying on top of a table. Got to complain about me. Then he looked in the side yard, which is behind the fence. He can't even see from the road. And I got to get issued a court date for this.
Yeah, because you didn't listen to them when they told you to clean it.
I did clean it, but how can you work out in this weather we had?
You don't work. You don't work.
You know,
it's about 95 degrees out with the humidity. I can't be out there. I nearly pass out every time I go outside.
What do you have in those storage containers?
Miscellaneous metal. I keep now. I don't have it in the outside in the front yard. I have a couple of them underneath the table. Nobody's seen it.
But what do you have in there? What do you have in there that you need to keep?
No, it's like copper wire. I'm talking about my. That's acceptable. What's they talking about? My side yard. It's disorganized.
You don't sound good. You sound sick.
I know. I get this every day. I have something wrong. I get this from the weather.
It's recurring.
Medicine's the best. He comes to my office to hire me. He brings in scrap metal, all sorts of stuff.
What are you trying to pay people in barter?
Yeah,
Wamp them?
He gives me copper wire, and he's the best. I got 3 sheeps. He gives me. He's awesome.
What do you have? What do you have in the side of the house?
I'll get back what's going on just because I got tons of scrap metal in my backyard. And what happened? I got to tell you, over a year ago, like before August of last year, 2018, my health was failing. I had to go for surgery up in North Carolina for my heart. And, you know, the code enforcement people couldn't even give a rat's ass about my condition, anything like that, you know. Well, so I tried to work on it. Then after my surgery, I couldn't do anything because my scar tissue affected me on my right where my incision is. I can't move my arms.
You know, you should have thought about that before you started stockpiling junk. What do you have on the side of your house?
It's not visible from the road. I have.
What is it?
Miscellaneous metals, all kinds of stuff.
You don't need that. You don't need that. Throw it out. What?
Aluminum.
No, that's not how you say it. No. Try to say it again.
Aluminum.
No.
You can't own it if you can't say it.
Aluminum.
What?
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. I mean, let me get to the point.
Wait, let me hear you say it. You got to get the metal right. Say it again. What's it called?
Aluminum.
Try it again.
Oh, come on.
Aluminum. Aluminum. Say it.
This is aluminum.
All right, listen. Here, you want my advice? You want my advice, Tom? Can I give him the advice?
Okay, bye.
Clean out. Shh, listen to me. I'm telling you what to do now as your attorney. Clean out all the junk, take a picture of it, and take it to court tomorrow.
I got to take a picture of that. Plus, I've got to bring my medical procedures, what I went through.
Nobody cares about your medical procedures.
I would love to be on code enforcement tomorrow. That's going to be a long day for those guys. He's going to bring his entire medical history.
They're idiots. I got people next door to me that have a crappy couch in their front yard for 2 years, and then when they have their garbage in their can, it's like above their can, plastic bags, and it stinks like crap, and you can smell it over 100 miles.
Do you realize they're doing that on purpose to retaliate against you?
They're too lazy to put the garbage out.
All right, I gotta go. Good luck. Good luck in your.
I need to talk to Dom.
No, listen. I gotta tell you, you need to go and take care of yourself now. You're an adult. You're a 70-year-old man. You need to figure this out on your own.
I know. I just need to talk.
See you in jail.
My medical pass, what I had.
You can't. He shouldn't bring up his medical pass.
Your medical stuff is your medical stuff is irrelevant. Medicine. You don't need to bring your medical information there. All right. You just need to tell them.
Maybe I just left my shirt.
Just tell them you're going
selling a boobs or something.
Okay. Well, tell them you're going to clean it up.
How many
need more time to do it? That's what you got to tell them. Tell me clean it up. I just need more time. I'm older.
I don't have anybody to help me. That's the problem. I don't have a car. Truck or a van.
Tell them that.
How'd you get all the crap to your house? How'd you get it all there in the first place?
I had to accumulate it. And, you know, even 2 years ago, things got messed up because Hurricane Irma made a mess in my yard because the guys had to cut the trees down and left tons of branches in my backyard.
Yeah, but you're talking about motors and stuff. All right, I gotta go. I can't deal with this anymore. All right, I gotta go. He's too much.
You should be with him in court. That's fun. He wants to testify over you.
Can I go represent him?
Yeah.
Chip, go ahead. You're on with Ask the Dom.
Hey, I'm going through a separation. We're trying to keep it, without fighting and everything, but can the soon-to-be ex go after the new living girlfriend's income when it comes to child support?
No.
Okay.
You're safe.
It's so hard to get a straight answer anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the case, everybody would probably try to date, someone that is, got a very well-paying job and gets a lot of money versus, inherent love that you date who you like. So I mean that has no bearing. It's your income ultimately that's going to be factored into this. Now, if you get remarried, that will have an effect on things. But as long as you date somebody, I mean, you could date a multimillionaire actress. Makes no difference, to the courts because they're not related to the inner family dynamic of what you guys are dealing with. They are ex parte. They're not part of it.
I was just worried about, combining addresses or getting mail at her house or anything like that.
No, none of that. No, that's not going to affect anything. Nor should it.
Good luck to you, sir. Let's try and get a couple more of these.
All right, we want to roll today, man.
Let's go to Paul. Paul, you're on Ask the Dom.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi,
never thought I'd be calling in to ask this, but anyway, my son is in a predicament. He got served a judgment. He went to college. I was diagnosed with late-stage cancer, and our pastor at the church said, well, I'm an alumni. I can get you into school, and we'll pay for the school for him for a college out of state. So my son accepted it, obviously gracious. And
accepted what? The statement by the pastor?
Like a grant.
Okay, so it was something in writing.
It was a verbal grant, and he went to school for 2 years.
Okay, let me explain. I do not know what a verbal grant is.
Well,
I've never heard of that, especially coming from a church.
Yeah.
As much as I love the Lord, can you please put this in writing?
But he gave him his word, and he's a preacher. He said, we'll take care of it. So you don't want to be like, well, Your Highness, can you put it in writing?
I don't care if it's the Archbishop themselves.
So I didn't,
none of that matter.
It was a generous offer.
I'm sorry.
School.
Hang on a second. I'm sorry about your situation. Okay? God bless you with the fighting of the cancer. Do not take anybody's word without it in writing. I don't care if it's a priest. I don't care if it's a president. You get it in writing because I'm sure at the end of this conversation you're going to tell us why you should have had it in writing. So he goes to school, and then what happens?
And now he's done with school, and now he's got a $6,000 bill.
Because
the school wants their money.
Did you tell the priest? Did you tell the church about it?
Yeah.
I've tried to. We don't go to that church anymore, and I've tried to have conversation with that pastor.
Yeah.
And that pastor refuses to return my phone calls. I've tried emailing him. No response back.
Give me his number. I'll call him right now.
That's one way.
You want to give me his number? I'll call him right now.
I do.
Hold on. I'm gonna put you through
I'll
Carmen.
have to get it to you.
Oh, you don't have it?
Okay. I don't have it on me. I'll have to look it up. But I can tell you,
Can you look it up rather quickly? I'll put you on hold. Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Let
me do
hold
that.
on. I'm not going to hang up on you. I'll put you on hold.
There we go.
Carmen will pick you up in a minute. Try to find the number, and we'll call the guy and put him on the spot right now.
Okay. Sounds good.
Look, he's taking that church money. He's got it. Hold on. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, well, you
feel awkward. You're going to ask church.
I don't feel awkward. I don't feel awkward at all. I deal with churches. I've sued churches.
Yeah.
And people,
you're going to hell.
And I've had priests come to me. How can you sue the church? I said because the church was negligent. I said, guess what? You're going to pay.
No.
I mean, listen. If just because I might be going away doesn't mean you ain't going that way with me. Don't hang your hat here. You may not be back.
That's true. I'll get you on the other side.
That's right.
Let's take this call while we're waiting. Justin, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Justin?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Dom. How's it going this morning?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, so me and my girlfriend, she has a daughter that's 1 year and 7 months old. We change hands with her father every Sunday. And this past Sunday when we got her, he had told us Thursday that she had a small diaper rash. Didn't say anything big about it. Sunday we pick her up. She has full-blown chicken pox. They had brought her to the zoo earlier in the day, and once we picked her up, we brought her straight to the hospital since it was Sunday and no doctors were open. And we asked him, hey, why didn't you bring her to the doctor? He said, oh, well, we were changing hands. We didn't want to deal with it. We figured we'd let you deal with it instead of meeting us at the hospital. We pick her up dirty all the time, too. It's like she plays in dirt and, they don't bathe her or something. And with, newborn bottles when she's already onto the sippy cup. We went to a lawyer to try and push for, at least trying to have, supervised visits, but having the majority of custody so that way we know she's safe, that she's being taken care of and everything like that. Unfortunately, a lawyer is way, way too far out of our reach as far as financial concern goes. Is there any way to kind of push for that without having to seek an attorney as far as doing those court filings and everything myself?
Yeah, but you don't know what the hell you're doing. And I think that if you're worried about the safety and health of a 1-year-old and 7-month child, then you need to get with an attorney like Jason Valkenburg who will take payments and will work with families like yourself. Because I don't understand when folks say, I'm worried about the safety and health of a child, but I don't have the money to address it. That's like an oxymoron. You can't put that together in the same sentence. So the solution is Jason Valkenburg. He's going to be on my show next week. You can email me, go to AskTheDom.com. I can give you his information. He'll work you out because, yes, you can do it, but you're not going to know the mechanisms. You're not going to know the arguments. You're not going to have the motions. And if the other side gets a lawyer and you guys are unrepresented, you're going to go down in flames. So go to my website. Let me get you Jason. He's great. He'll work with you. He'll help you folks out. I don't like hearing the child is not being cared for and there's issues with that. Don't mess with children. You got to make sure the kids are okay.
Right. Trust me, even if I had the bare minimum to where it would basically put me in financial debt, I would give up any amount of money to do it.
Listen, you can work it off. We'll work it off. Go to Medicine Man's house and remove all his scraps.
All his scraps out of there.
Okay, if there's a will, there is a way.
In a heartbeat for him.
All right, listen. If there's a will, there's a way. I had 5 jobs. All right, when I was younger, 5 at the same time. If there's a will, there's a way to do it.
Yep.
And don't say you can't. Say you can. We're going to figure it out. And the first step is to go to my website. You can go get Jason Valkenburg's information. We'll help you. Get you on the right track.
Dom, unfortunately, the guy doesn't have the pastor's number. You can't get a hold of him. So
he can call my show tonight.
Call the show tonight. Let them do that. Who's on the show tonight?
It's no guests tonight. We're just kind of just chilling. It's me, Kat, Kelly. Just going to relax. We've had several guests for like 8 or 9 weeks, so we're just kind of resetting. John Brennan loves when it's just me and the callers and listeners. So just us. And then next week, we're going to have Jason Valkenburg in studio. The great guests you had yesterday, Ben Swig and Nikki DeBartolo, they're going to be on my show next week talking about their book. Obviously, you get different folks that listen at different times of the day, so I'm trying to help them get some exposure for their book release, Our Happy Divorce, which I'm very excited about. And then also good folks that just called in can also call next week. It's basically going to be a family law segment next week.
All right, good. Everybody's interested in family law.
Yeah.
Dom, thank you. Thank you for being flexible and coming in today. Listen to Dom's show tonight.
Absolutely, Mike.
Right
Thank
here
you.
On this very radio station, even though Mo might be there, it's still worth listening to.
No, and Mo's not coming on the cruise.
But thank God.
Guess who is now?
Say Mikey Pros.
Dead Air Sansoni.
Oh, man. Who else?
And his lovely girlfriend, fiancée, Maria.
Are they all going to stay in your room?
Everybody's in my room.
How is that going to work?
I have now obtained the captain's suite.
Oh, man.
So yes, we've got the biggest.
You and Charo and Sansone and his girlfriend.
Who's going to drive the boat?
I have not. A captain's going to be in my old room.
Come on.
I mean, so we've got the biggest room on the ship. There's a piano in there. There's a pole of some sorts in there. There's a full bar, and there's like a little jacuzzi pool allegedly, and a bear skin rug. I asked Diane. I said I'd like to have a bear skin rug with the head.
I said the same thing, but I wanted to actually be lion skin.
She goes, Dom, you're not Mike. I said, I'm Mike's lawyer. You know, I'm there for Mike. And I said, and Mike's got nobody this year, just him. I got 48 people in my room.